I did something, guys. I bought a new CPU, and it's not this one. This is the one I currently have. This is the one I bought.
Oh my gosh.
So if you saw the last video I put up with the new Sapphire Nitro Plus 5700 XT, that was the new GPU I bought. Awesome, love the card so far. The only problem is I think it's a little too much for the current CPU, the central processing unit that I have now. The unit I have right now is the Ryzen 5 2600. This is Zen Plus. This is the second generation. Working well for me so far, but I think it's a little light on what I need and what I'm looking for a CPU. So what I went with was the Ryzen 7 3700X. I know a lot of what I'm doing seems a little kind of over the top in regards to these upgrades, but after having gone through the build and with these certain things, and probably the next thing that I'm gonna have to upgrade down the road is the motherboard. But the B450 Tomahawk is doing great right now, and I'm not gonna change that. But the Ryzen 7 3700X, this card should be good for me. Because right now I only have one computer, I don't have two, so when I'm gaming and streaming on the same computer. The 5 has 6 cores, the 7 has 8 cores. So hopefully the extra 2 cores will allow me some multi-use from the computer and not kind of max out my CPU. It was causing some frame rates to drop as well as when I was streaming. And I wasn't even pushing OBS Streamlabs that hard. So first things first, what I'm gonna need to do is I'm going to need to take out the old cooler that came with the 5 2600, take that off, re-put these brackets on the motherboard, because the Prism Wraith cooler, more RGB, I know, mounts using these brackets. It does not mount like the other cooler. So gonna have to kind of go through that, turn my computer off, redo the takeout. I'm gonna try to leave my motherboard in the case in switching out the CPU. We'll see if I'm able to do that. Hopefully I can. All right, let's get these things swapped out. The Ryzen 5 2600 is part of AMD's second gen CPU lineup. It sports 6 cores, 12 threads, 3.4 Hz at base clock, and 3.9 Hz when pushed to its limits. The Ryzen 7 3700X is AMD's third gen CPU. This bad boy has 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.6 Hz at base clock, and 4.4 Hz supposedly when overclocked. Let's get her opened up. The new Ryzen 7 and Ryzen 9 CPUs are all shipped with AMD's premium Wraith Prism cooler. Now, not only does this fan perform well, but it also comes with pre-applied thermal paste. Oh yeah, and programmable RGB, because we're all about that RGB life. Boom, there she is. Alright, let's get this thing installed. Like I did with my graphics card, one thing I need to do before I can take any parts out, obviously, shut it down. Yes, you are seeing something else over there that I'm changing, but we're not looking at that yet. Alright, so I went ahead and opened up my PC for you already, and as you can see here, that is the current CPU fan that I'm going to be unplugging, switching out this guy. So I have to unscrew these 4. Once I get this unscrewed, I am going to have to put these brackets on so that the CPU fan can mount on it. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the CPU fan, and then with my trusty screwdriver, with these things unscrewed. All right, so I have the fan removed. Something that I should have realized is after I was screwing, I literally unscrewed these screws for so long, and then I was just trying to lift, and I found the secret. I turned it a little bit, and that unlocked the grip that thermal paste had on the CPU. So I'm gonna get that cleaned off, and I'm thinking I am going to have to take off my motherboard, take out my motherboard, so that I can put those brackets on. Something I wanted to look at real quick, look at the difference of these fans. There's the Wraith, there's just the normal fan that came with the 2600. Look at that size difference. Holy cow. RGB, no RGB. So I've came to the conclusion that I am going to need to take out my motherboard. Thought this process was going to be a little faster, but the back that the brackets go to mount on for the cooler, as you can see, that screw in right there, fell down to the back, and there's actually a metal plate on the back of this case behind the motherboard, so I cannot just simply take the back off. So here's the internal look at the case. So I'm gonna have to take out that fan, unplug everything, probably take out the graphics card again as well, get everything unscrewed, put the back on, and then go ahead and put the CPU fan in and the CPU installed, and then I will install it. So here goes nothing. All right, so I have all the power unplugged. I have the motherboard unscrewed, and now I'm gonna be taking this out so I can put this back bracket on and then install the fan and the CPU. So it turns out that, and I should have just checked this. I should have just assumed that people who make computer cases are smart. But there's a hole cut out right here in this fractal design case so that I could have held right here and installed the bracket without disassembling everything. But I guess you live and you learn, and now I was able to get better at taking my computer apart. Alright, so we have the back bracket in place. Now we need to put these on here, just like that. And this is where the cooler is going to be hooking onto and mounting on top of. Alright, so the important thing to remember when installing the CPU is, first things first, is you lift up that arm, and if you look closely, and again we have to be careful that we do not touch the back of this. Look at that. Alright, so if you look on the back of the CPU, there is a little triangle right here. And then if you look at where the CPU is supposed to go, there's a little triangle in that corner right there. So what you have to do is when you put this in here, so you match those pieces up, triangle to triangle, so it should just slide right in. And you simply push that arm down, and the CPU is installed. You can see AMD Ryzen 7 3700X, and this is the new gen made in 2019 versus the other one that was made in 2017. Alright, so I'm going to be having the CPU fan sit in right here, just like this, and the cord is going to be plugging in right here, so I'm going to have to just kind of get it just turned around a little bit. So the big thing about getting it installed this way is we have to hook this arm right here to this bracket. So we're going to have to hook, set down, and then this bracket right here is going to latch on, and then this flips over to tighten. Looks like everything is settled on there. Now to flip it up. All right, solid. So I had that backwards when I was explaining it to you. Right now, it is flipped up and tight. Before, it was flipped up is when it was loose. So now I can flip this around here. So the CPU fan are installed. Now it is time to get the graphics card back in and get everything else wrapped up and back where it should be. And then let's see if we can get this thing turned back on and working. I'm gonna have to have you back up a little bit. All right, so I did a whole bunch of extra work, but I know my computer, I feel better now. So the CPU fan is in, everything else is reinstalled, re-plugged in, power sources are good. Now it's time for the moment of truth. We're gonna be plugging it in, leaving the plate off.
Yeah, and that's from the brain.
That's right. That is the computer's brain. And we are gonna be seeing if it'll work, and then plugging it in and playing some Fortnite.
Yeah, and not post the game in it, not do like.
Yeah, you don't want to freeze. That's right, we're having some Wi-Fi issues and people are freezing in games. Moment of truth. Let's try this out.
Oh my gosh. How does it glow?
That's so cool.
How does it glow?
Do not touch anything.
Yeah, we don't want to touch it though, okay?
Why?
That's a fan that's cooling the brain of the computer. And these are the computer's eyes. This is the graphics card. And that's the short-term memory. So that's how you can remember what you learned today. And then that red thing makes it so you can remember what you learned a long time ago. Is that pretty awesome, Leslie?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yep, I know. Different shirt, it's a different day. I'm editing the vlog right now. Wrapping things up. The new CPU is working amazing. I haven't had any issues so far. The main reason why I bought the CPU again is because I felt like the GPU was overpowering my old 2600. Things are going well. It is awesome. There's a couple things left that I'm going to be upgrading that you should see maybe next week, depending on when they arrive. But stick around, keep checking things out, and I'm going to try to keep doing my thing. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate your support and watching the videos. If you want to, you can smash that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, you can go ahead, like this video, or watch one of the other 2 videos that should be lined up next. And remember, I love you, God loves you, and continue to improve every day. Thanks. Bye.